One of the most significant things in our life is what we do with our money. Amen. Jesus talked about how that mammon was something that was going to either make you or break you. And what we do with our finances has a huge part in who our life is. I think we can have a life that is completely selfish. That Judas, he literally stole from the offerings that were being given to Jesus Christ. Amen. Because he was a taker, not a giver. Amen. How do I set the direction of my life? Well, a lot has to do with what I do with money, because money is a powerful force. It literally is the name of gods. And when they worship other gods, a lot of it has to do with thinking that's how I'll get rich or how I'll do it. There were a couple of events in my life that changed the course of my life. One was when Ron Jones, he was our pastor. He'd gone down to preach a revival in Wickenburg, and he'd been reading a book by Oral Roberts on seed faith. And he talked about giving, and Ronnie was stirred by it. And he took the last few bucks he had, and he put it in the offering plate, and he put it as a pledge, said, God, what I really want is an old pickup truck. And a guy came up that night and gave him the keys to a pickup truck. And Ron drove that for years. Amen. And it literally changed the course of his life, amen, in many ways. And he became a radical giver of lives, of money, and of all these things. And it was identified his life. Amen. Well, we can give. And when you give, it can come back to you, pressed down, shaken together. Have you ever put it to the test? Malachi 3 talks about bringing that seed into the storehouse, into the house of God, and proving if God is going to bless or not bless. Amen. It's an exciting principle, amen, to begin to discover that we can make a difference in our life and we can do right. And one of the key things to that is just being a giver. Giver to God, but not just God, to missions, to people in need, to hurting people, buy a hot dog for some homeless person. Let's be God's hand and voice in the world today with a heart that gives.